up, y'all? This is All Gas, No Trash. Welcome back to the program. Welcome to a brand new episode. My name's Adam, and I got my co-host, good buddy, Josh here. So we are here to discuss the latest single from the satanic doo-wop group or duo known as Twin Temple. And we had to follow up on this particular group because of the fact that, the last single didn't really sit all that well with us, and it was kind of disheartening to hear what I can only describe as a really lazy track, thematically and also within the cleverness or lack thereof compared to previous releases from Twin Temple. I'm hoping we have a bit of a redemption here with this specific song because I don't know, maybe we review it anyways because it's just something to do, but it already doesn't sound promising. It actually sounds like I'm not going to like this thing. And I already saw the track list and it's only 8 songs, and where it wasn't so problematic with God Is Dead because every song was enjoyable. I mean, I could only wish it was longer, but for what it offered, I can't really complain, right? And specifically with this upcoming album, I think we need a larger bushel of songs to really find out what this new album has to offer. And I think less is actually more damaging, ironically.
Yeah, but I mean, I can agree with that.
But to even further add into this intro segment, as some of you already know, actually, I'm just going to make this its own thing. What is it, 228?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to make this a new segment, and it pertains to some of the happenings around Twin Temple, where they had been displaced from Charlie Crockett's tour or series of shows that they were going to be opening for him because of the fact they're a satanic band, which is kind of stupid as fuck because, you know, you think for maybe it's only in name that we have the freedom to believe in whatever the fuck we want and do whatever the fuck we want, that a band is outcasted for having different beliefs from somebody they're sharing the bill with, which is just universally stupid. So out of that came the fact that Jack White was willing to have them open for him on his upcoming tour, which is one of the biggest like fucking slam dunks for the band, one of the best situations that ever happened to the band, I guess out of an unfortunate situation. And to further add to that, we now have Twin Temple being featured on The Daily Show to play this new song called Haunt Me, which I'm not sure how we're going to listen to this song. It could either be through the live performance they did on The Daily Show. Actually, I think we might do that. Let's do that. And then, yeah, we'll talk about the song. But yeah, it's just been a nice little string of events that has happened for Twin Temple, that they have now appeared on television and got to play with Jack White on these series of shows that are coming in the future. I mean, it's about as good as it can get for Twin Temple. However, I still stand by my personal opinion that the last song that we heard, called Doom Lovers, is perhaps one of their most tamest songs that we've heard from Twin Temple ever. And it's just hard to fathom that they have pivoted into more of a tempered version of themselves in so many words. And I'm kind of wondering if this is how it plays out going forward. So
did you watch, because they actually, in addition to doing the song on The Daily Show, they actually sat down and did like a 9-minute interview.
They did?
Yeah. Do you want to watch? Like, let's watch the song performance and then let's watch their interview and see what they say.
Oh, let's do the interview first, then we'll do the song.
All right. So let's do the interview first. All right.
We're gonna do one segment for the interview, which is gonna come just after this one, and then we'll do the reaction to the song. But yeah, in so many words, great things have happened for Twin Temple. I'm not so hot on the latest single that they dropped for their upcoming album, and we're going to check out this one to see if they're going to have a bit of a redemption with their second single. So we'll get back to you after we check out this interview from The Daily Show. All right, welcome back. So we checked out the interview from The Daily Show that featured both members of Twin Temple. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think and again, we only listened to one song so far, right? But I kind of feel like that being the leading song that they put out as the debut song for the next album, I kind of feel like it's going to be indicative of what's more to come. And there was a point where she talked about these like 2 or 3 or 4 different people that were involved with them doing this album. And now it sounds like there's some money behind it with the orchestra shit they were talking about. I think what happened is I think there's too many cooks in the kitchen. And I think there's too many people involved that are making decisions for them and telling them, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that. And that's why that first song sounded kind of fucking different than what we're used to. I feel like, I don't know. That's my thought.
Yeah, there was that. I mean, she mentioned Shooter Jennings, I think, serving as producer on this album. So it's definitely another voice to be heard to contribute or offer advice about what direction they can take. So I don't know how I feel about that, because I feel as though since they already made it this far without anybody, why fucking add another voice to make it potentially more confusing or taint what they already had going. Like,
yeah, it's the Butters. Bitch, when you want to make some real motherfucking money. Like, that's what it is. It's fucking money. They want to make money and they want to get big. And you can't blame them. But I think this may turn out, and I'm not going to pass judgment yet, but this may turn out to be a prime modern example of money influencing art in the negative way. In a very negative way. Because obviously the first album was fucking great. This second album turns out artistically it kind of took a shit. Sure, it may be more accessible because I guarantee you that
this is the third album
or whatever. Yeah, you know what I mean. I guarantee you that they're sitting there going, all right, the Satanism thing, but like in the music, that's what they listen to on the daily. We gotta tone it down a little bit, or a lot of it. We gotta tone the Satanism down. We gotta tone some shit down.
Or go somewhere else.
And make it, they need to make it more acceptable to the mainstream. I think that's what they're shooting for, obviously, with the production of this whole thing. I mean, she said it herself. We couldn't afford to get this, like, analog type stuff, the orchestras and all this stuff, the instruments that were needed to, like, do what they really wanted to do. And then when they finally... Again, this big production got brought in because there's money behind it, and money talks where art gets silenced. And that's kind of, that's what I think is fucking happening. I'm kind of leaning towards that.
The only thing that could be a counterpoint to what you said is that when you see the releases, it's still under like Pentagrammaton or whatever their record label is that they created. So,
well listen, that may be part of the deal. These guys aren't fucking stupid. These big name dudes that they're talking about that are involved in the production of this album, they're not fucking idiots. Part of the deal may be, hey, whatever their version is of fucking record labels or whatever, hey, as part of this deal where we're paying you all this money and paying for all this shit, we're buying your fucking name for this record, or we're buying it from you. And now we're still going to release shit under this. We're still going to make it look this way because that's what people are used to. We still want to give the allure of that independent vibe, but I'm telling you, there's no fucking way in hell that they're still independent and doing the shit they want to do. On paper,
and maybe not for casual eyes to see, but like in
they now have a handler
potentially.
I feel like you don't get to be on the Daily Show and opening for Jack White if your strong connections aren't telling you what to do.
For that specifically, I mean, shit, there was tons of things to talk about for that. That segment, but. My theory is that everybody wanted... It's like... Man. It's like wrestling, right? With the fact that... for WWE, right? They're basically culture vultures. They snipe everything that is relevant in pop culture and make it about themselves.
Right,
With like Cyndi Lauper in the 80s.
Yeah.
They just co-opted her and fucking put her in WrestleMania. Or if it's movie stars, they'll incorporate them in the matches or whatever.
Muhammad Ali as a referee, you know.
Yeah, so here is the exact same thing, a television network. And maybe this is a middle finger from The Daily Show itself because it has had John Daly in the past as a host, bringing him back from his long absence because he's so outspoken against the president and the whole administration at large. But like this program has kind of been a middle finger to Paramount / Skydance, who I can't remember if it's owned by Larry Ellison. Larry Ellison, I think, is the owner of Oracle, and his son owns Skydance. My point being that now that they've been purchased, or they purchased CBS, Paramount, or whatever the fuck it is, that, it's just a propaganda machine for this administration or whatever.
Yeah.
So Daily Show is this is a defying moment for the Daily Show to feature a Satanist band on their program, potentially as a middle finger to Skydance, Paramount. That's like the meta part of it. And really it's like a culture vulture moment for the Daily Show to co-opt the moment and say, let's make it about ourselves. Let's get some of this action and take a band that has this, a little bit of buzz going because of the fact that they were kicked off of this tour with Charlie Crockett and now Jack Weiss picking up. How can we make it about ourselves? So they have them featured on the Daily Show. But as far as like the interview itself goes, it definitely seems like Alexandra is the more forward facing person between. I forgot the name of the other dude. I think it's Zach. Between the two of them, she seems more like the forward-facing figure within the band, and she seems extremely intelligent, definitely well-versed in, like, the history of music, but just kind of generally understanding what's going on within our own country. Man, she would be great on, like, any other news network that, of course, wants to get their nut and be like, oh, we got to have a Satanist on our program. How do we drive ratings? Well, we got to have a Satanist on our, like, I think she would be, the way that Marilyn Manson was featured back on different news networks, and people were like astonished to find out he was actually intelligent. Like, yeah, believe it or not, artists read and fucking do all these things to stay informed, and they're not fucking idiots. So Alexandra struck me as somebody that is could definitely be somebody featured on.
She would be a great person to fucking talk to.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to sit down and actually have a conversation with her on, like, do an interview, because that was a fucking bullshit cookie cutter fucking safe interview and that's not her fault. That's fucking, and also that dude who's on the Daily Show right now is kind of a shitty, he wasn't very good, but I mean, yeah, she would be fucking fascinating to talk to. And I would love, and who knows, listen, I could be wrong about all that shit that I just said earlier about what my theory is as to why this may be taking a turn for the less, more tame, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And if I'm wrong, hey, that's cool. This is what we do here. We push dialogue, and let's talk about it. Come on and tell me how I'm fucking wrong.
Yeah. And like I said, man, I don't know if this is necessarily what's happening with this third album, but like I said, man, for them to be featured on the Daily Show, it is really cool.
Yeah.
But I'm just hoping this song that we're going to hear that is part of the Daily Show, the part of their live performance, isn't as tame as some of their previous stuff, because they always push the fucking envelope. Like, that's their modus operandi, to shock anybody that could be potentially offended by Satanism. And it'd probably be mostly Christians and maybe just people in general that are not savvy to the tenets of, like, Satanism and stuff. But I mean, I kind of get where she's coming from, because there's an example with, like, Indiana had this whole thing about religious ornaments being featured within a government building, and Satanists put fucking their own statue of Lucifer or Baphomet
Yeah.
And that thing was removed.
Yeah.
And, you know, for her talking about, you know, religious freedom and stuff like that, and having been persecuted by MAGA people, and also who else did she say? Proud Boys, at shows and stuff. Like, I mean, that's not really indicative of what our Constitution should afford us. Definitely being a victim as a Satanist or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I think I don't really know what to make of this, but like I said, it's many more good things that have happened. It served to benefit both of them. It worked out for the Daily Show to have a shock value artist into their program, because maybe they were hurting for ratings. They wanted to capitalize on this moment. For Twin Temple, they get a kick out of it because, well, now they have been featured on television, as she mentioned, in addition to that being featured on Alex Jones, or no, they've been talked about on Alex Jones, but they weren't actually featured. But overall net positive for everybody.
Yeah.
So now we transition over to checking out the song, and I think we're just going to listen or watch the live performance from the Daily Show. Yeah, that's probably the way we're going to go. We'll have it as one of the end cards. So if you want to check it out in the form of song and have it on your digital streaming platform of choice, you can do that, or you can just click on the end card and wait till the end of the episode to check it out. But we're going to listen to this second single called Haunt Me from Twin Temple. And yeah. All right, welcome back. That was Twin Temple with their song called Haunt Me. I'm going to go first on this one. Yeah, man, it's very disappointing to hear this track. And before I even elaborate, like, I don't want you guys to think that I'm just an outright hater of this band. Like, to even further my fandom, I guess, or elaborate on it, I saw them back in 2019 when they played at the Roxy, and somebody that had hitched onto the Twin Temple band themselves was this guy named Ed Serta, who was a saxophone player who used to be in this band called the OC Hurricanes, who coincidentally also played that night because of the fact that the main vocalist, whose name was Roach, that was his nickname, but then he got Me Too'd, so he got canceled or whatever. But I learned about Twin Temple through him, because of the fact that he had gone to see them perform at the Observatory in Santa Ana. And, they developed this friendship between them. And that is the reason why you see Ed Serta. At least I think that's him. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that is the same saxophone player from the OC Hurricanes. And if it isn't, doesn't really matter. But all that really to say that I've been a fan of this band since at least 2019. And, to further this, I will post that set from that show just to solidify the fact that I'm not just saying this because I'm trying to be an asshole or anything like that. I will have that by Monday. I'll compile all the clips that I have into a full set. And but anyways, getting back to the song itself, it's just more of the same, unfortunately. And I'm actually surprised that I'm not surprised that they did this, because they're trying to promote their new album, which is on the way. It's in October. I forgot the exact date, and you can look that up on your own. But I would have expected them, maybe because they are envelope pushers, that they would have pick something a little bit more daring. And this song was probably one of the more tamer things between the two songs. I don't know which one's more tame, but instrumentally, I think it sounds great. Alexandra's voice is fucking great. It's flawless or whatever. But lyrically, it's so lacking, and it's so juvenile and elementary in the fact that it's like it could have been written by anybody else. And I think it could have been like as if somebody were ad-libbing Halloween words, or like horror themed words to make a love song. It almost comes across as fucking lazy. And I know that's going to be something that probably isn't going to be liked by a lot of people, especially coming from a man, especially when this band is pro-feminism, pro-abortion, and anti-authority. Like, who am I to fucking make an opinion on this as a man speaking on Twin Temple? This whole band's modus operandi or motivations or even tenets is that they're anti-authority. So I guess we would be a authority figure on a very small scale, minuscule scale, to the point that we don't really matter, but here we are talking about it. I think it's comparable to like witches in fucking Salem or whatever, that anything that was done against the church or the family unit, the Christian family unit, was seen as an act of defiance. And I can understand why Satanism makes fucking sense. Like, I understand it, but fuck my life, dude. This song was kind of lazy in the lyrical front.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. It was same old shit as the last one. It's not going in the right direction, in my opinion. Yeah, okay. Melodically and like the actual functioning, the song, her voice, that's fucking awesome. They are excellent. They are excellent as a fucking group, as a band, as a group, whatever the fuck you want to call this. In terms of what they sound like and how they perform their tasks individually and collectively. It's fucking excellent. We are literally watching like the musical equivalent of Seth Rollins joining the Authority. Like, that's before I was about 50% on the probability of what I said that I think that's the case.
Yeah.
After hearing the second song, I'm now up into the 70s of the probability that this song, you say lazy, I say safe. This song was very safe.
It's both. Yeah, it's safe, safe and tame.
Right. It's tame, it's safe, it seems lazy compared to the previous body of work that exists. You can you can tell that someone is pulling the strings to this and making it this way. And okay, I fucking, this was like watching Black Hawk Down, or like those videos during like the War on Terror when like people would get taken hostage by like Al Qaeda and shit, and they're like saying the shit and they're like blink twice if you're fucking, like they're blinking messages in code. That little fucking, the horns at the end, that was their act of defiance, because I feel like that was done because it's like, hey,
that's the tamest thing we can do. This is
the most provocative thing that they will allow us to do, and we're gonna do it because this is us trying to defy our new masters. Because that's what this whole thing feels like. It feels like, and again, they may not even, and they may not feel that way. They may, even though this I still could be wrong, but even if it is what I'm saying it is, they may not feel that way. They may think this is the greatest fucking thing ever, and they may be willing to give up some of their creative and artistic freedom for money. That's how you get big in this music industry.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I want to be clear with that. There's nothing wrong with it. But that doesn't mean that we have to sit here and just say, oh yeah, it's just as good as their other stuff. Because it's fucking not. It is not good. Or I shouldn't say it's not good. It's not as good as their other stuff. And I think she even said that in the interview, that there's like, it's like a teen, what did she say? It's like teenage something, like teenage rock. That's what this is. Lyrically, this is for fucking teenagers.
Well, she was talking about old musical figures in Nashville.
Right, and she was, and drawing on the what was it, the sound of that or whatever.
Yeah, the sounds of Nashville.
But in saying that teenage type rock or whatever it is, that's what this fucking sounds like. It sounds like fucking this is for 13-year-olds that are like, oh, Satanism's cool, bro. Like that's what this is. And maybe that's what they're targeting. Maybe that's what the machine behind them is targeting to make the most amount of money. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I mean, dude, she made a song on God Is Dead called Santa Muerte, which is like, it was a song to give her flowers, the figure of Santa Muerte or whatever, to be a saint for like the whores and stuff. And the reason that the Catholic Church looks down upon that figure is because it's blasphemous, right? And it's like, oh, and then within the song itself, Alexandra says something along the lines of, the only reason that you don't get, or the only reason that that figure isn't honored is because it's considered blasphemous, or is it because of the fact that that figure is not a virgin in the way that the Virgin Mary is? You know, kind of like saying really heinous shit. And that's what I loved about the band, is that they were so clever about the biblical figures that they mentioned, or the biblical things that they would extrapolate from the Bible, and I guess like really witty lyricism. On top of the fact that they're Satanists, they found really clever ways to incorporate that, and it feels like we get none of that shit here. Like we got like a 5-year-old's version of like a Halloween, or not a Halloween song, like a doo-wop song. Maybe not a 5-year-old's version, interpretation of like a love song or whatever. But like if I were given an ad lib or a Mad Libs book, and they're like, everything's blank, huh?
A haunt.
Yeah,
or
no, it's like a love song, right? And the verbs are
Halloween words.
Halloween words, right? Like that's what it equates to. It hurts, man.
Yeah, it does.
It hurts because, as I said before, dude, they're way more clever than this. We've heard it before with their first album. We heard it with God Is Dead, and perhaps, I don't know, man, maybe it wasn't the best idea to have Shooter Jennings be a contributing voice, because now you have some other influence tainting what they already had going. And maybe in some ways it was a good thing because of the fact that it's like it's an external voice outside of the group that can say, you know, maybe this isn't the best idea, but regardless, you have an external, like that's the downside too, is that you have an external voice influencing what you do, whether they have an acting part in it or not. Like, you know, I don't know, but I think we're still gonna see this all the way through.
No, we have to.
Yeah, now we have to see it all the way through, because now I need to know, this is 1/4 of the album, mind you. It's 8 songs and we're 1/4 of the way through the album. Yeah. So that's assuming the other 3/4 or the other 6 songs are going to amount to something meaningful. And dude, I mean, even the title alone is just like, it's, oh my God, like God Is Dead, dude. Like that is so outrageously awesome, and then it provocative.
Doomed lovers.
It just doesn't have that same cachet, man. It doesn't ring.
It rings of safety and tameness.
Yes,
this is what is that thing I say on the podcast, the other podcast we do, the interview one? Welcome to Tamed House Cat, the podcast.
Oh, like, Tamed House Cat,
This is Tamed House Cat, the album.
Yeah,
it's what it's turning into. And again, I will say we could be completely wrong. Maybe this is the grand bargain that they struck. Hey, we'll put out 2 or 3 songs, maybe even 4 songs that are just super chill and tame and no big deal. We'll promote those, but those other last half of that album, we're going to fucking go hard like we did before, and we're going to do what we want to do. That could be what's going on. That could be the case.
Or, shit, man, for them to mention, I'll tell you what, man, Alexandra is a great, like, PR person, because when she opened that segment with whoever the asshole is that's on the Daily Show, and she's kind of like painting this picture about Satanism. She's like, oh, is it drinking blood out of a chalice? Is it going out and dancing naked under the moon and having satanic orgies? Yes, it is exactly that. That was fucking hilarious. And it would have made sense, at least in my opinion, although I understand why they picked this new song, because, you know, it has to serve everybody's benefits, that they, you know, the Daily Show gets their performance, and then for them they get the publicity. But Let's Have a Satanic Orgy is an envelope pushing song, and why did they play it that safe?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, I know it's because it's two things. It's because it's not on the new album, and the second thing is I think it's because they didn't get to do the envelope pushing that they wish to do.
I don't think they picked this song. I don't. There's too much money involved, is what it seems like. So now you give up choices for money, And that's okay. Again, if that's how people want to do it, it's all good. But like I said before, it wouldn't be fair of us to sit here. And again, I'm a fan of theirs, not to the level of like you particularly, with the length of time.
I'm coming down, dude.
Well, okay.
I'm meeting you where you're at.
Not
now.
to the level of where you were.
Yeah.
I never went to go see them. Like I liked that last album. I thought it was great. We did a great fucking album review of it. There was a bunch of cool shit that we both enjoyed.
Yeah.
Out of that last album that we did, the God Is Dead one. This is and just because that I'm not to the level of fandom that you are, doesn't mean that I can't be as equally fucking disappointed.
Yeah.
Because I am. I'm pretty disappointed so far in the complete and utter vapid lyrics and this is a poverty of content. That is kind of what it is. Literally that, a poverty of content.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to describe this so far.
Yeah.
And I'm not. It's the odds are not looking good. They're just not. I am, like I said, I'm in the low 70s of the probability that what I said earlier about them having masters and being told what to do now because all these motherfuckers are involved and there's too many cooks in the kitchen. I'm leaning towards that's what's going on.
And you might fall in love with the idea of Shooter Jennings like being a contributing voice in this album. Like that is dangerous too, man, because you don't want to fall in love with like admiration, dude, for other people.
Yeah.
Because if you were to, especially when it comes to creative people, man, like I don't think they largely like being told what to do. And then when you invite a voice that you really like you're drinking the Kool-Aid, unfortunately.
Man. And then also Never Meet Your Heroes because they'll always disappoint you.
Yeah,
like, that's what it is.
That too. But that isn't to say that I still don't, or rather that I still appreciate the band. I think both of them they're obviously well versed in the history of music.
Oh yeah.
They I'm sure they have received the ire of a number of people, and they don't deserve it, because if we are in a free nation, allegedly, that they shouldn't be getting all the hate and vitriol from like numerous groups. Like as long as they aren't hurting anybody physically, what fucking harm are they doing being Satanists?
Yep.
I still love their music. I don't know about this album. I could still have a dissenting opinion on it. I am going to probably have a dissenting opinion on it, but that doesn't mean I still I want to support them. I still support their music. I think they're dope people.
Yeah, go buy all their shit. We're not saying to just fucking be done with them or anything like that. Everyone's allowed to have some fuck ups, okay? Like, we fuck up all the time.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that people are willing to have an open mind to say, hey, there isn't a bunch of sycophants even within the community, like whether that's just music at large or even within their own followers or whatever. I think we're allowed to have a dissenting opinion. Like, I think other people might feel the same way that we do. Maybe they're just holding their fucking tongues and saying, just kind of towing the line or whatever that expression is.
If anything, it sparks dialogue.
It does,
And this is we're entitled to our opinions just like everybody else.
And just like them, rather, they have their own beliefs, and so do we. So if hopefully we can all kind of come together and understand that everybody has their own opinion about everything. Yeah. This is just how we feel about these two singles that we've heard.
Yep, exactly.
So see you in the episode.
No, see you in the episode. All right. Well, I guess we'll see everybody on the next one.